Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money never, money never, money never, money never, money never, money. I know what you conniving. Money, money never, money never, money never, money never, money never, money. You can keep your conniving money. When you've been up for a bum, in a bills every morning. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, in a bills every morning. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money never, money never, money, money never, money, money. I don't want you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and I kill that piece. A 2 pound note and I kill that piece. A 2 pound note and I kill that piece. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money neighbor, money neighbor, money, money neighbor, money, money. I don't want you conniving money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Tom's TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruptions over land and sea, where the wicked politicians they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. There's one set of people getting aisle money. There's one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which as ordinate me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, they got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Pastor, poor people governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
From Paparaiba speaks of birth to Correctives or sons, where children pledge each faithful heart to guard Guyana's lands, to foil the shock of rude invader who violate our earth, to cherish and defend forever the state that gave them birth. We forge a nation's mighty soul, construct a nation's frame. Freedom our everlasting goal, courage and truth our aim. Unyielding in our quest for peace, like ancient heroes brave, to strive and never cease, with strength beyond the slave. Guyana, plant of glorious virtue, faith, prosperity, joining the universal search for worldwide community. Your people must surrender greed, may you are quality, with one forever changing great nation's unity.
My Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, El Dorado, rest of all the world away. In my heart wherever I wander, memory enshrined me. All my hopes and aspirations, all my longings, only tie everlasting bonds around us as the fleeting years roll by. My Guyana, El Dorado, my Guyana, times unfolding and for my destiny, to redeeming lasting splendor over years and lost to me, and the dawning of my glory, for the long, long night is past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy and free. Guyana,
Together, my comrades, we will build a brand new Guyana, a country where all are equal opportunity. So let us begin now to show loyalty to Guyana by showing love and respect for all Guyanese.
My brothers, my sisters, we will live and die here together. On to one people, one nation, one destiny. For harmonious living, cooperation will be forever. In work and play as we live as proud Guyanese. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. When it's time we settle all the rich lands in the interior, our natural resources are there in great quantity. And we will do farming and establish towns by the border. We'll grow more food so we could fill all Guyanese.
My greatest desire is to serve my country, Guyana, and sincerely help my Guyana to move along. Our government asks us that we study hard and we learn the things that will help Guyana to become strong.
Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. To help develop Guyana the free. Marching towards the shining future, courage high, the past is gone. Overcoming fear and counting out the glory, sun and stone. Through storm clouds dark and blowing, through face lightning, flash and flame, one republic of Guyana, glorify Guyana's name. Forward, forward, youthful nation, right with power, the arms might. May his strength forever gratitude strive, and ceasing be for right. From Guyana's base consolate, to wise conflicts raise and reign. Build thy people, dear Guyana, strong, united, loyal, free.
created man. Lord, give to me that all the world I see was is strong. Down upon the border, the great Atlantic gone into a pure the sea, as old as new, or better in the princess glow. I love thee, I love thee, I love thee,
If you don't know how I feel for you, it's time I let all feeling show. I love you and I'll never let you go, no, baby. Right now, we're just friends, but I pray someday you'll surrender to love so tender. I won't push you as long as you know that my love is true. Get closer to you, baby. Closer than just friends. I want to get closer to you, baby. Yeah, closer than just friends. How about you? How about you? It's hard to explain. When you're close to me, I get a warm sensation inside. I can't deny this. I want to try it each and every time you come by. Girl, I don't wanna lose your love by putting my cards on the table. You know I'm thankful for what we have, but I have feelings inside. They're so strong I can't hide. Get closer to you, baby. I want to get closer than just friends. Get closer to you, baby. Yeah, closer than just friends. How about you? I know you're probably thinking that you heard this so many times before. But girl, when you're here, I want you to stay. And when you're gone, I want you even more every day. Girl, I don't wanna lose your love by putting my cards on the table. You know I'm thankful for what we have, but I have feelings inside. They're so strong I can't hide. No, baby, they're so strong I can't hide. How about you get closer, baby? Closer than friends, oh, baby. Closer than just friends. How about you, baby? How about you? My baby, oh, to you, lady, yeah. Closer than just friends. me and you. I want to how about you? There's nothing I won't do to get close to you, baby. Closer, my baby. Closer than just friends. Nothing I won't do to get close to you, baby. Yeah.
For 62 years, we stood together strong. Through trials and triumphs, we carried on. Built on trust with unity, our guide. Serving our people with hope and pride. From humble beginnings, a vision so true. Coloring lives in all that we do. Celebrating 62. Together as one GPS and CCU. Our future begun through faith and service. Our journey shines through. Hey! Celebrating 62. GPS, CCU. GPS, CCU. Our future begun through faith and service. Our journey shines through. Celebrating 62.
Hey, morning. It is 26 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour, and you are tuned to the Guyanese morning time on the 4th day of March in the year 2025. How are you doing? How was you yesterday? Oh, yesterday was Pagwa. How did you do? How many of you went out and played Pagwa? How much fun you had? How much sweet meat and yam? What did you do with you yesterday? I was getting comfortable there. Yes, on your pass here yesterday, what did you do for Pablo? I saw some person talking up a storm, but sometimes you wonder, with all these people that stuck, who just run their mouth, if they're usually sincere in their utterances. So y'all could ask the president, how sincere his utterances are. I'll have to find out for me. They say the more things change, the more they remain the same. And I'm positive that not a lot has changed in the real sense of change, despite all the changes, the development that we've been having in this country according to certain people. I have a way of saying poverty is a mental state. Poverty is a mental state. And a lot of people watch me and say, what are you talking about? Poverty is a mental state. Poverty is financial dispossession or being financially disadvantaged, etc. But poverty is also a mental state because a lot of us are poor, not because we don't have material things or financial resources or access to those resources, but we are poor because of our minds, our mindset. And every time I look around this country and I see the behavior of people, I have no choice but to agree with myself that in this country in particular, we have a lot of poor people, and I'm not talking about financially poor. There are people who are morally poor. There are people who are unconscientious. There are people who are desperately wicked. And for me, that comes from a place of poverty of the mind. Poverty of the mind. We have not really enriched our minds enough to bring out that humane, God fearing, if I can say, neighborly loving parts of us. And so yesterday, as I sat and I listened to the presidents and all the others who tell themselves that they are influentials in the society because of their high offices, I asked myself really and truly, where's the enrichment of the mind? Where's the enrichment of the society? Because the enrichment of the mind will, by extension, lead to the enrichment of the society. People will think differently, people will behave differently, people will act differently. And unless we as a society pursue that enrichment of the mind, that education that will enrich the mind, then we will forever remain poor. And if you have people who are poor in their minds in society, in leadership and governance, then naturally the citizenry will remain poor, the society will remain poor, the economy will remain broken. And of course, we'll see the social impacts. We will see the social impacts. And just so yesterday alone, I want to say I've been abused, seriously troubled, um, seriously troubled by some real evidence of the social impacts of the poverty in this society. I want to share it with you. A lot of you perhaps have seen it already. Perhaps you've had your comments on it. Perhaps you've been aggravated enough by it. But they say repetition is a good teacher. And so if you have seen it before, permit me to repeat it so that you can see it again and you can really appreciate the depravity, the madness that is our society. Bear with me, I'm not always smart when it comes to the technology. want to make it full screen. I'm not seeing where to make it full screen, so sometimes I feel I'm such a technology geek, and another time I feel like I was more than a backbench. I was outside of the class when it came to technology. But anyways, y'all look at this for yourselves if you haven't seen it.
Nah, don't trouble this now. Don't trouble this, yeah. You can't drag any girl. Don't trouble this. Don't trouble this. I gonna put this up. Don't trouble this. Sorry. No. Nah, don't trouble this now. Don't trouble this, yeah. You can't drag any girl. Don't trouble this. Don't trouble this. I gonna put this up. Don't trouble this. Sorry. No. Nah, don't trouble this now. Don't trouble this, yeah. You can't drag any girl. Don't trouble this. Don't trouble this. I gonna put this up. Don't trouble this. Sorry. No. Nah, don't trouble this now. Don't trouble this, yeah. You can't drag any girl. Don't trouble this. Don't trouble this. I gonna put this up. Don't trouble this. Sorry. No. Nah, don't trouble this now. Don't trouble this, yeah. You can't drag any girl. Don't trouble this. Don't trouble this. I gonna put this up.
Now y'all tell me if that is not poverty of mindset. Y'all tell me if there's not poverty. These two adult humans were supposedly child care protection officers, not child care protection officers. Treating a child the way they've treated her. Where is the protection from these child care protection officers or these child care officers? Where's the protection of that child in this instance? Where is the education, the enrichment of the mind that says to these two people who were supposedly trained, because at least I expect you would have a certificate of some sort in the social sciences. I think they call it social work. I expect at least you'll have some training in social work, certification, to be employed as probation officers and child care officers and so on. But where's the education? Where's the enrichment of the mind? What did these people learn? Where's the word assimilate? While they were in the classrooms. How long have they been child care officers? What have they learned over the years in terms of dealing with children? And in this instance, it seems as though they thought or they allege it was a case of truancy. What did they learn? What knowledge has emboldened them to behave in such a manner. While it is clear that those are their actions and they must be held accountable for their actions, one has to ask, for an examination or re-examination of the entire apparatus that is responsible for child care and protection. And that apparatus is the Ministry of Social Services. They got probation department and child care department and this and that. One has to ask for a total evaluation of what happens over there. People are saying they must be fired. I noticed a statement from Vindya Prasad saying that this incident came to our attention via social media and the two officers have been immediately suspended and the police invited to do investigations. Appropriate steps. I don't know about the suspension. I think they warrant dismissal because there can be no justification for that behavior. And since the behavior is criminal, I also think they warrant police investigation and charges being laid. So appropriate steps. But the question I'm asking, will dismissal of these two females, these two officers, these two human beings, and bringing criminal charges against them be sufficient to remedy this situation? That child is bruised for life. Physically bruised, yes. She might have to live with some marks, lacerations, etc. Physically bruised, but again, the mental, the psyche, and the mental bruising, the psychological bruising is what she would have to cope with for the rest of her life. Yes, people are going to talk about getting her, what they call it, counseling and so on. Yes. It might ameliorate the problem. I hope I'm using the word right. I went to IFLOC University. Right? It might soothe the situation, but would it remove the memory? Would it necessarily remove that trauma that that child has suffered? And does it, most importantly, address the failings of the apparatus that permitted these two human beings to display their animalistic tendencies on that young lady? There has to be an immediate evaluation or reevaluation of what happens at the Ministry of Social Services when it comes to child care and protection, when it comes to probation services, when it comes to all of the social services that they're supposed to be providing. Because that is only, I would say, a living example of the failings of that department. But there are people who live the failings of that department every single day, every single hour of the day, every single minute of the day, because there are people who will tell you stories of having to deal with child welfare and protection and probation services in this country. I see Jack King says it's black on black crime. A lot of times we fast to label it black on black crime or black on black violence without understanding the context that it appears as this black on black crime or black on black violence because perhaps the majority of the people who are employed by that agency are blacks or are employed in that at that level by that agency are blacks. As an investigation, quite frankly, of what happens at that agency might very well reveal to you the level of frustration among the officers of that agency because of the behavior of their superiors. And so that frustration, as we like to say, is now being taken out on helpless people. So the victimization that is taking place within the agency is now overflowing as victimization to members of the society by their officers. It's not what we say cut and dry situation. It's a situation that warrants deep investigation and interventions. But like I said, suspension or dismissal, criminal charges, yes, those are appropriate steps. But that alone will not fix the malady. That alone can't fix it. Appeasement will not fix it. You have to have the will, the gumption, the love, the enrichment of heart and mind and body and soul and spirit to serve humanity, to address social services and fix it once and for all. Yeah, this is where we see black on black violence. That's only an indication of a broken system. And if we want to ensure that that doesn't happen in any other way, shape, or form in the future, it doesn't recur, then we have to fix the system. We have to fix the system. And don't give nobody an easy path. Don't give them an excuse by saying, hey, it's black on black crime. What would make two professional, I call them professional because that is what they are supposed to be, officers of the state, treat a child in a manner in which they have treated this young lady? Y'all tell me. It's 4 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour. The state should be held accountable for the behavior of its officers in every instance. I wish some I don't know, proactive, let me call it that, attorney will reach out to the family and go through the procedures of filing a lawsuit against the officers and the agency for the abuse meted out to this child. Even if she can't get peace of mind thereafter, at least her parent must have access to resources, financial in this instance, that will help them to deal with the situations, the fallouts that may occur as a result of this incident. It's my humble prayer, my fervent prayer, that somebody takes this matter to the civil courts, that the police deal with the criminal, Somebody needs to sue the hell out of this government, its agencies, and these two officers for the abuse meted out to this child. And Guyanese like to talk about out of court settlement because they don't trust the system, because the government controls the system and the government don't corrupt the system and so on and so forth. But why not test the system and be prepared to test the system all the way up to the court of last resort, the thing they call it, the CCJ? Why not? It's my firm belief that more Guyanese need to go to the courts. On certain issues, because when you go to the court, you set a precedent, you force the court to set a precedent, you force the court to remove what I will call the uncertainties on certain matters in the society, force the court to make a pronouncement. And when the court rules, the legal minds will tell you the rulings of the court form part of the jurisprudence of the country. It forms part of, I might want to call it a common law, because the court already ruled on this. It is there as a guide to behavior in society. And so when the court rules on that and it becomes a guide, then the hope is that nobody is going to go down a similar road in the future, because it has already been pronounced on. So I wish somebody will take it to court and go all the way up. All the way up. So that we can have some clarity on how misbehavior public officials should be treated. Not some public officials, but all public officials. I'm tempted to talk about another situation now that I didn't plan to talk about now, but it fits in the discourse I'm having. A lot of people over the last several days have been pointing out to me or calling me and saying, Mr. you see the guy has issued a wanted bulletin for you. Again, it's not going on with you and them. And my answer has always been simple. I don't know what's going on with me and them. I don't know. They issue these wanted bulletins. I know if the police issues a wanted bulletin, they say, they point out the crime for which a person is wanted, at least I think. And so I want to challenge the ERC to put in the public domain why they want me. What am I wanted for? Put it in the public domain. Let the public be the judge of why I'm wanted. Just as a criminal wanted by the police force, they put it out there. And they say this man is armed and dangerous, etc. Let the ERC, let it do one poster dedicated to me, man. Don't put me with a set of other people so you can't give adequate information. Put adequate information out there and say Mr. Sam is wanted for X, Y, and Z things. That kind of information might cause me to want to come and see the ERC. Failing that, there's no guarantee I come in to see the ERC. I say here and clear, here now, loudly and clearly, in case people don't understand my mindset. I believe if the ERC has a criminal case against me, by all right, take it to the law enforcement agencies and let the courts pronounce on it. Because just as I'm encouraging others to test it in court and let the court create a precedent, let it be added to our jurisprudence. I'm saying the same. I have a responsibility to do that. I have a responsibility to do that. And so, in case I didn't say clearly enough before, I'm saying no, that I'm prepared for the ERC to put me before the court for whatever the infractions it believes I've committed. It's gonna cost me some time, it's gonna cost some money and all of that. Because you don't go before the court without lawyer. And there's no case that is open and shut in this country. It doesn't end in a day, 2 day, 2 weeks, and so on. But yeah. But is it too much of a sacrifice to make so that people in this country can enjoy their freedom of speech and freedom of expression? Hi. Where you coming? No idea on my program. I won't get off until 9 o'clock. But my daughter is supposed to come over early to do some loading. So I'm going to let you know. Good. Yeah. Am I arrogant? Am I being stupid? Is it foolhardiness that I would say from where I'm sitting right now that if the ERC has a criminal matter against me, then they should take it to the relevant authorities? Or do you believe I should volunteer my time? Because as far as I understand, this is what they're asking me to do. Volunteer my time and go to the ERC to hear somebody talk about something that they think I'm guilty of, or they believe that they can morally persuade me, moral suasion we call it, to stop. I believe that people are entitled to their opinions, and I believe that they have a right to express those opinions freely. And so when I host this program, I do not in any way seek to restrict people from expressing their opinions, because as a teacher, I know when you allow people to express themselves, you learn from them. Right? You learn from them. And so I'm always open to learning. And so again, I'm saying, just as I was encouraging people just now, or the family just now, or lawyers just now, to take that matter to the courts the same way I want to encourage them to take my infractions to the court and let the courts decide on it. Some might say that this matter is not written in stone, or my position can't be written in stone. And I will tell you why my position can't be written in stone. Because I have loved ones. I have respected ones. People I love and people I respect, who are of the opinion that I should do otherwise. They are of the opinion I should do otherwise. Quite frankly, I've been advised, Kidaki, I know you're fearless. I know you're stubborn. I know you stand on your positions, but I also know that the ERC as an agency of government, a government that is wicked and vindictive and crass, will do every and anything to penalize you for your defiance. And so while we respect your right to refuse to go, we are begging you, go and see what the ERC wants. Don't give them the opportunity to penalize you. Yes, there are those loved ones around me who are begging me, who are saying, do this for us, not for yourself. Do this for us, not for yourself. Do this for us, not for yourself. Right? But you know what? One of the things that has given me peace, I can't speak for my daughter, um, because I don't think we have these deep discourses. Um, I think she's still fragile, and so sometimes I let her be. But these discourses I usually have with my son, who, for me, is my backbone in times of trouble, in terms of that support system, the person who got to do the running wrong, the person who got to take care of business, who got to deal with business in my absence and so on. That's my son. As I take comfort in the fact that, discourses he has expressed and continues to express that understanding of what I do, why I do it, and the positions I take. The other day he came and said, boy, I hear the ERC publish another wanted bulletin. He said, it's the same thing that they put again. If they got something for charge you for, why they don't charge you? Those were his utterances. He said the same thing again. If they want to charge you for something, why they don't charge you? And that warms my heart. That gives me comfort. Because I know not only will business be taken care of, but most importantly, even in my presence, the well-being of his mother and sister will be taken care of. Right? So again, I'm saying, I am not feeling I will volunteer my time to go to the ERC because they say I want it. Maybe it would be helpful for them to publish what I'm wanted for. But I want to show y'all something. You see this man here? Farouk Khan is head of the investigative unit. Right? That's Farouk Khan. He's head of the investigative unit. And this photograph is taken from Leonard Craig's page. Because Leonard Craig is one of the other persons who has been placed on this wanted bulletin. And this other person is Shivanand Nandalal. I wonder if he has any relationship to Anil Nandalal. Because the Nandalal seem to be showing up in all parts of this society as head of GPL. And now here's a Nandalal at the ERC and so on. Right? So this is Nandalal. Shivanand Nandalal, Public Relations Officer, and Farouk Khan, what you call it? Head of Investigative Unit. This morning is show and tell. So I'm going to show you another image. Y'all bear with me. I gotta get this one out of my phone. Another image. Where is it? Is this one? No, not this one. All right, let's use this one. I want to share, I'm sharing these images with you. Bear in mind, bear with me. I'm sharing these images with you because I want you to understand what I am saying when I say it. Right? I want you to understand what I am saying when I say it. Me as a man, I don't like, I always tell people, I don't accuse people. I don't like to accuse people without having the evidence. And until I have the evidence, rest assured, I don't like to accuse people just like that. I've had lots of experiences that told me it's not the right thing to do. Aye. You got keys, open the place and do what you gotta do. Chris, there already? All right, let me cough him. Let me see. As much as you get. The fish guy gotta get $5. Good? Well, when you take out 5 from what is left? I'm on the program, leave me alone. Good. Yes. I want you to look at the image on the screen now. And you'll see the head of the ERC is Sheikh Moinul Haq. Sheikh Moinul Haq. Right? So the head of the investigative unit of ERC is an Indo-Guyanese. The head of the ERC is an Indo-Guyanese. And the other critical positions in the ERC that are occupied by Indo-Guyanese. And when you look at the behavior of the ERC, if you look at the so-called wanted bulletin issued by the ERC, I think I got it. Then I think you have no doubt. Hello? I'm okay. Who's it? Good. Good. Yeah. I don't think you'll have a difficulty concluding like I am concluding. When you look at the people who the ERC has issued wanted bulletins for, when you look at the people who the ERC is constantly calling to the offices and making pronouncements on their utterances and so on, Sharma Solomon, Kidaki Amsterdam, Leno Craig in this instance, and so on and so forth. I've concluded that the head of the investigative unit is the head hunter of African Guyanese in this country. He's a head hunter. You remember in the days of plantation slavery, you had the plantation owners, Massa, Sheikh Moin Haq, and you had the head hunters, the slave drivers. That's how I see them. That is how I see them. And in the spirit of coffee and Maccabee and all of them, I don't think I need to subject myself to any headhunting organization when it comes to Afro-Guyanese, or as we like to say, black people. They said Justice, Lady Justice is supposedly blind. And so Lady Justice is not supposed to see race and ethnicity and class and so on and so forth. So again, I'm saying, why not? Why not? Some will say, Kidaki Amsa, you're taking a big chance because Sheikh Moin Haq is head of ERC. And Bibi, I think that's her name, Haq, is the DPP. And so, who knows? They might get some pillow talk about you. They might get some pillow talk about you. And they might cause Lady Justice to see you for what you are. And not the way Lady Justice is supposed to, what's the word? Let me say, assess the charges laid against you, etc. What is that a chance I'm willing to take? I think I'm willing to take that chance. Asishinez is saying, no, don't do it, sir. What are you saying not to do? I want to hear you. What am I not to do? Because I think I would be a good hypocrite telling people, listen, there's a system, man. Let me farm jurisprudence in this country. Let me contribute to jurisprudence in this country. Um, and then I run in and ducking and hiding and going to make deals with people who I believe are out there with the sole interest of suffocating the right to freedom of expression when expressed by certain people. So when I look at the ERC, all I see is a set of headhunters. In case y'all didn't understand why I am not likely to volunteer my time, why I'm not willingly going to volunteer my time, I might be coerced. Because at the end of the day, I usually say, family matters. And if they say, hey, get up your black backside and go and do what we want you to do, because at the end of the day, our well-being matters too. Yeah, by the girl waiting on you. You hear me? Yeah, the girl is waiting on you. Good. Yes, sir. Yeah, I sent the thing to the guy. I just sent it early in the morning. Yeah. Let me check his WhatsApp or whatever. Good. Sorry. This morning I ain't feeling too secretive, so y'all could hear what I say. I know if y'all gonna hear the other end of the conversation. Y'all could read into it what y'all like. Yeah. I am tired of the people's representatives, and I see myself as a people's representative, engaging in this politics of appeasement because they're afraid of what the other side can do, using institutions of the state which are presumably biased when they ought not to be. I'm tired of that spirit of appeasement. And I'm not, I don't feel I need to entertain it because I criticize it every day. So let the battles begin. As I said, let the ERC do its worst for now. Life for the living. It's 20 past 8. And I show you the photographs that Leno Craig published. But I didn't say the things that Leno Craig wrote about those two particular individuals. But I think I should, and I really will, because it will give you an entrance, if I can call it, into their mindset. I think it will show you how it is they believe Afro-Guyanese should be treated with in this country. I'm going to do that. I think I need to do that. I'm going to do that. So let me go back to Leno Craig post. And this one is about Farouk Khan. Let me go back to the Farouk Khan in terms of Leno Craig. And I'm going to put it on screen. So y'all gonna recognize this is not a figment of my imagination, and this is not something I'm making up. I mean, y'all might say, why are you quoting Leno Craig? Leno Craig jumped ship a long time ago, and he has discredited himself as a Afro-Guyanese, as a black man, and so on and so forth. But yes, sometimes even I like to say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And in this instance, Leno Craig and his friends perhaps are having a falling out. So why not? You're in the belly of the beast. So here we go. Then come poop number 2. Meet Mr. Farouk Khan, the head of investigation for the ERC. This man has to be the most incompetent, half-witted, bird-brained, decomposing cretin and audacious slacker He's not fit to have the words quote unquote head off in front of any title except the next following words, chum bucket. What investigation did he do that led the commission to conclude that I cannot be reached, thereby warranting publication of a public notice? 1. I'm on a weekly call-in program which uses my personal phone number displayed on the screen, the very show the ERC arranged to sit on as a guest. 2. We didn't call the ERC. The ERC called us to come on the show to be interviewed by me. Yet they claim that they tried repeatedly and unsuccessfully to meet me. 3. A simple Google search of my name will yield over 100 hits with a range of public things I'm involved in. 4. I'm on the Guyanese Critic platform, which has a publicly displayed number, and it is the single easiest entity to reach in all of Ghana. 5. Mr. Khan indicated that my infraction was committed on a national political platform. How about calling the political organization and well-known organizers to get in touch with me? 6. I'm a weekly columnist with the Guyana Chronicle. The very photo used on the public notice was lifted from that column. Did he call the newspaper? 7. I have an active and vocal Facebook presence where a message could have been left. If this is a standard of investigation on behalf of a National Constitutional Commission, it would not be surprising if citizens believe these men are playing dollhouse over there. With this level of slackness, incompetence, and downright disregard for the most basic levels of propriety, committee, and unpretentious interface with the public, the ERC is eroding public confidence in the institution. I think they've done that a long time ago. Beyond investigating whether his toes still wiggle when he awakes in the mornings, this gentleman should not be allowed within a country mile of any serious investigation. That is Leno Craig's opinion on Farouk Khan, right? That is Leno Craig's opinion on Farouk Khan. And so let's go to the Nandalal guy. He has an opinion on him too. So let me see where that is. All right, listen, you can't spend too much time on them. But in short, I want to say this. All that Leno Craig has said, I'm going to endorse all of it. But I think what Leno Craig perhaps recognize, or you should recognize from the publication of this so-called wanted bulletin, etc., is that as far as the ERC head of investigative unit and public relations officer are concerned, Black people should be publicly shamed on matters that they determine is against the mandate of the ERC. And so no real effort was made to reach to anybody or to, and so on and so forth. Let us throw them up in the public domain to be criticized by the public, etc., to be condemned by the public, etc. Barnabas and Jesus, no? Let them be tried by a jury of their peers without the opportunity to face their accusers, because in that very notice is one complainant they got. Somebody named a usual PPP skull. His name. They got a name of the man. I can't remember his name. I think Amir Ahmad. I think Amir Ahmad. That's the only complainant on the poster. So all of these people who are wanted by the ERC got one thing in common. They have offended some guy named Amir Ahmad. That's my interpretation. And since they could offend Amira Mad, let us put all of their photos and let us put all of their images out there and so on, and publicly shame them and say that they want it because they are such despicable people. How many instances of Indo-Guyanese uttering very nasty things about other people have we encountered in this society, but we haven't seen the images plastered across social media or any media, as a matter of fact, to say they want it? That, for me, again, is empirical evidence of why I can't take the ERC seriously. I don't know about y'all. It's 28 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. The lines are open. No, I don't want to open the line. I just want a musical break. So I'll take a musical break, and then we'll come back and we will talk about. I never said the lines are open. You're too quick to drop out. Now relax yourself. I say I'm going to take a musical break, and then I'll come back, and I have another matter I want to deal with quickly, and then we will talk about opening the lines. Don't worry. I'm in a good mood today. I could play Frank Sinatra's I Did It My Way because I will continue to do it my way, but I like Mikey Spice too, so let's play.
Make images that impress.
Right, let's have some Mikey Spice. I said. Why are you ringing on my phone? Hello.
It's all about you. LA's fine sunshine most of the time, and the feeling is laid back. Palm tree road, rent so low, don't you know? I keep working my way back. But I'm a Jamaican boy who's born and raised. Nowadays I'm lost between two shores. LA's fine, but it ain't home. New York is home, but it ain't mine no more. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard at all, not even the chant. I am my pride. I am said I, and I am lost, and I can't even say why. Leaving me lonely still. Did you read about a father who dreamed of being a king? And they all became one, except for the name. A few other changes. You talk about me. The story is the same one. But I've got this emptiness deep inside, and it won't let me go. And I'm a man who don't like to swear, but I hate the sound of being alone. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard at all, not even the chair. I am my bride. I am said I, When I am lost and I can't even say why. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard at all, not even the chair. I am my pride. I am said when I am lost and I can't even say why. You're leaving me lonely still.
Booking.com has stays for absolutely.
You know, I just had a brilliant idea. Since the ERC wants to see me so badly, why don't I organize a group of us to go in front of the ERC and make our presence known? Don't you believe it's time Guyanese turn out in their numbers and stand in front of the ERC and say this discriminatory enforcement, or whatever you want to call it, must stop? Don't you believe Guyanese need to start sounding their voices against the ERC and say, stop antagonizing and stop harassing our people? Y'all tell me y'all ready and I'm ready to lead. Let's go. So they will see me. They might get an opportunity to come and have a conversation with us. Because, Amy, let's just assume that, you know, my family, immediate and extended, get the better of me, and they think I should respect their reasoning and their concerns and so on. I want the whole media to accompany me to see the ERC when I go in, so that we won't have any discourses in private. We will have public discourses that the public can benefit from. How about that? I'm a public figure. I like the public to benefit from anything I do. And so if I'm going to engage the ERC, it has to be a public engagement. And so everybody will benefit from that public engagement. They could perhaps organize a town hall meeting. I'm willing to host them at Club Twilight, or any venue of their choice, so long as it's going to be public. Like I consistently tell you, I ain't got no interest in going and sit on opposite any desk with any public official to discuss anything. I'd rather like it be done in the public. Like I told somebody, I like my business on a lantern post. Why we don't put it up there, ERC? Guyanese, I think the time has come for us to send a very clear message to the ERC that unless you're going to be exercising your mandate in an unbiased manner, don't exercise it, because you're just aggravating us. At least I see y'all as an aggravation to me, as much as y'all see me as an aggravation to y'all. 24 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. I was saying earlier that we're poor in this country. Not always financially poor, but sometimes we're poor for our behavior as human beings. And the other issue that crossed my mind When talking about that poverty, I'm looking for some way for pushing something. And talking about that poverty is the recent incident. I'm not going to go to photos or videos to that. Um, of the drowning of the two children. I'm sure you read of it, you heard of it. Two children, I think 9 and 10 years old, lost their lives yesterday outside of Gaiwa at Enterprise. Just at the Enterprise Road, Gaiwa has that big purification station there. Two children lost their lives there. My understanding is that they left home to go and play Pagua. Some people say with the permission of the mother. Others say they left home to play Pagua and ended up swimming in the trench, which we might call Enterprise Trench, just outside of Gaiwa. The sister who is younger encountered difficulties, and our brother who is older attempted to rescue her, and he too encountered difficulties, and both of them succumbed, both of them drowned. My condolences to the family, immediate and extended. It's heart-rending, it's heart-wrenching to know that the lives of two children have been lost in such a manner. Let me just say such a manner. But that drowning there highlights to us again the callousness, the poverty of the mind in our society. And I want to address maybe 4 areas of that poverty. First and foremost, as a parent, how do you allow your child or your children to go and play at distances where you do not have oversight over them? Francis, I know I said what people said. Sorry, I should have said what I understand to be the truth, or what some people might say is the truth. I understand the little girl went to fill her water gun or refill her water gun, or whatever she was spraying water with, and encountered difficulty. I don't know if she slipped, but I was going to get to that, but I've said it. That is what I understand. And the brother recognized the difficulty and he went and whatever. First thing is, why would a parent or parents allow their children, as we like to say, out of their eyesight? Is it no longer wise to overlook our children while they play? Especially in this time when the people of the world has lost their moral compass. I remember as a young son, I wasn't going to play unless one of my elders, whether my big brother or my big sister, going to be present there. I can't go and play. I got to play in the yard. In the 90s, I think I was a teenager. I hope I get it right. And I couldn't be on the road beyond a certain time unless I was accompanied. Some people might say he grew up like a hearty man. No, I didn't grow up like a hearty man. Can we like say so? Now they got it like a titty latte. No. My mother and my elder siblings were caring enough to want to ensure that I was safe and we were safe. Oh, you sending a 9 and a 10-year-old for going to play away from you. My daughter at 19 the other day, I hope they don't beat me up for talking my business, came to me and said, listen, my cousin and others are going to Suriname. I would like to go. Our cousin is at least 4 years older than she is, I would think. So if we say she is an adult at 19, our cousin is more of an adult at the old age. I said, where the cousin going? She couldn't tell me exactly. She said, maybe friends. I said, well, you ain't going, sis. Child of mine, you ain't going. Yeah, I understand you'd like to see Suriname, but you're going to see Suriname at some later stage in life. Maybe we will go as a family, or when you get older enough to take care of yourself, you could go. Because, hear me, in my eyes, your cousin is still incapable of protecting you and even protecting herself. Suriname is not Annandale where I could jump in a car and run over and come to your rescue, sis. I'm saying that to say that regardless of how all our children be, we as parents, we have elders, we have a responsibility to always keep in the forefront of our minds their safety. We want to imprison them, but we want to ensure that their well-being is considered at all times. How you sending a 9 and a 10-year-old out of your sight to play pagwa? As far as I'm concerned, which you ain't got no damn business with anyhow. There's a clear dereliction of duty on the part of the parents. Again, there's a law for stupidity, if I can call it that. And in other societies, that parent would face the brunt of the law, or those parents will face the brunt of the law, whether they call it child abandonment or whatever. I don't know what they call it, but I certainly know it is reckless endangerment of those two children. I certainly know that. This one. Secondly, when you look at the area where the children met their fate, if you would call it that, where the children met their demise, you ask yourself about corporate social responsibility. How is it an agency of state again, or a corporate agency like GUYANESE can be allowed to be pumping volumes of water into that space there, and it is left open? Y'all explain that to me. How it is GUYANESE is using that area there as an overflow basin, let me call it that, as an overflow basin, and it is wide open. Where is the consideration for the safety of people who use the road, people who are in the vicinity, children especially, people's animal and other people's livestock and so on? Where is the consideration? Shouldn't that area be empowered? Shouldn't it be fenced in? Shouldn't it be covered to ensure the safety of humans and animals alike in that area? That too is reckless endangerment. I understand the gentleman said some night he was going home, maybe a bit tipsy, and he fell and he almost rolled into that ditch. Well, if I call it a ditch, that pond there. We would have read about him next morning. Senior citizen found drowned in pool outside of GUYANESE. You mean to tell me nobody has the presence of mind, the enrichment of the mind, to recognize that as a clear and present danger, and therefore put the necessary barricades around it to protect people from it? To protect children from harming themselves, children and water go hand in hand for most people. Children like playing water. Can they see that that in itself is a clear and present danger left opened? They say some contractor is involved. The same questions are asked about the contractor. And those who have oversight authority for the contractor, and their health and safety measures that must be respected when a contract is awarded? Shouldn't have there been a clause in that contract that demands that the contractor empowers any such open spaces where that amount of water accumulates? Again, I believe some lawyer should take it upon themselves and work with the family to take an issue like that to the court, let the court pronounce on the culpability of GUYANESE and the contractor. I already determined that the parents themselves are culpable. But there are lots of culprits in the demise of those children, including GUYANESE and the contractor, from where I sit. 12 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. The lines are now open. The lines are open. I hope I didn't offend anybody by saying you have to quick on the draw. But the lines are now open. Let's have your calls and your opinions. Call you on. Good morning.
Morning, Kadaki. Well, the thing with Gaiwa, I think something should happen to Gaiwa. Remember, Gaiwa does say every drop of water is life. Why is Gaiwa allowing that amount of water to be dumped and people cannot get water going into the rooms? I am quite certain many persons in that vicinity don't have proper water supply going into the rooms. Now with the ERC thing, once the people gonna go, because I can only be two, me and you gonna go. You call the day for the protest, I will be there. Once it is not on pause, slow days, I will join a protest in front of the ERC. Because the ERC is a one-sided place. When the Indians and the people cussing out black man, nothing is being done. Look the other day. The big thing Mohammed Farid said, he in there all before ERC. And when it comes to Lennon Craig, I am not sorry. All people like them though, jump and destroy Black Party, an African party. They wouldn't want to hear nothing about WPA or APNO or PNC. But they would go and join the legion with the PPP and win. And when anything happens, those parties see them as black man. They don't see them as one of us. Like how anybody who come in to APNO or WPA, you see the brotherly love or the sisterly love. They don't look at ethnicity. So, in a way, let Leno Craig enjoy the fruits of his labor. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. Each one the Guyanese morning time, Buxtonian morning time. The lines remain open. Let me see if there is any voice note while I wait for your calls. As there's a call you on. Good morning.
Me. Yeah, good morning, Kadaki. Um, yes, about this, the children drowning is a sad thing, and condolences go to the family. Those children are almost out of the woods, 9 and 10 years. Um, that's a lot of sacrifice. Come to that stage and then just go that way. It's sad. But let me tell you something about that. I have 4 children. Um, that God gave me custody over, right? And when they were young, growing up, they're all adults now. When they were young, growing up, I used to go to work, and the mother used to say, "These children going in, they're playing at the trench corner and this and that and so on." And I hearing this thing every day because she was afraid that they're going to get drowned and all these things. You know what I did? They had certain time in the year, like I think is after August, between August and September, when it is, we had a dry season, matter of fact. And so the trench was low. You know what I did? I make sure I allow them every day to go in that. If they stand up there at that age, it was like what, 9, 10, and younger. I allow them to go in the water. I was there looking at them all the time, under supervision, then, so to speak. Every day I allow them to go in and they kick up and they do what they do, and then eventually all of them could swim. You know, saying that to say that you have to leave these children do things to get their own experience, but you have to do it, allow them under supervision. Somebody have to be there who is responsible, who is looking at them at all times. I'm saying this because we don't want this to happen again. You understand? I think they used to say up to 7 years, you're not supposed to allow them to cross the road by themselves. Somebody is supposed to be there to cross the road with them and things like that. I think that used to be something said before. So I don't, what I mean? And now these times, which is so crazy, where if you remember Adriana Young, I mean, people thieving children, kidnapping them for sacrifice and all these things. Nowadays, you can't allow your children them go out without somebody, who you certain that is they're gonna come back home with. You can't do that. You can't do that at all. This is a wrong time. Bad time for those things. Even older than 10 years, you have to make sure you know where they're going, and make sure you know that somebody's there, or they could take care of themselves wherever they're going, and things. You can't just do things like that. I'm sorry about that. And when you're ready to go to the ERC, I hope I'm there. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open. 622-5933 is the number to call.
Good morning, Kadaki. Concerning those 2 kids, the parents must have known that place is there, because according to what you guys are saying, I do not know the place, but the people, they are living around within the vicinity of that place, and the parents must have known that place is there, so as to warn their children. Do you know what is the last warning of your children or child when they leave in the home? It was a guy who...
That apology money is the African people money. It's the start every year for the African people. It's only 1/10 of $1 billion. And everybody else get money. The American people get $3 billion every year for the start. The sugar industry get $13 billion for start, and they take away the African people money.
Good morning.
Milton Holmes.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Proceed, Carl. You go ahead.
That is a foundation and a start for the African people. We must fight for that money to be placed in the African people's hands. Even if they put it in a credit union, so it could help the African people. It's a great start and it's a foundation for the African people. We need that money. They cannot take away that money and doing it whatever they want with it. We need that money. The PNC supposed to fight in for that money. That is our foundation. That is a great start for the African people. Even though mine is small, just 1/10 of $1 billion. And if and each and every other people getting 3 billion, the American people getting 3 billion, no that the PV to spend it for them. And the Indian people under the name sugar industry get $13 billion. All of them get a start. And the punishing, the apology, the African people. That is very bad. And we need to fight for that. That is our foundation. As long as we get a foundation, we get a start and we get to move up. And we must put it in a credit union so they could help poor African people. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. Call on mute, you can proceed.
Morning. Good morning, Kadaki. Good morning, Guyanese. Just make it quick. Kadaki, you were saying that the parents should be held responsible. I don't want to agree with that. I think Guyanese children should be free, and I don't think they went playing it. I don't think they went swimming in that water. Obviously, that water is dirty. No one would swim. I think Guyanese children are not that foolish to swim in dirty water. It's dirty water, and you could see it. So I don't want to blame the parents, and we got to know how far that location is away from the home of these children. Children should be allowed to, be free to play. I understand under a PPP administration, Afro Guyanese children have to be careful. We have to be careful with our children when we got a government like the PPPC party. But when you think about it, they should have some type of freedom. I remember when I was like 10 and 11, we were free to play. Warner was in power at that time, so maybe it was a different circumstances. But yes, we should be allowed to have our children out there and have some fun. Even though it's Pagwa, it's not an Afro-Guyanese tradition, but, it's a Guyanese thing. So I don't want to blame the parents. I think we should not blame the parents. The government is completely responsible for what happened yesterday. That place should have been cordoned off. And I wonder if they did anything from yesterday to today. Did they cordon off that area? Anyway, guys, you guys take care. We got to stay alert under a PPPC administration. All right? I love you guys. The Love Warrior. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. I want to reiterate. Parents, first and foremost, are responsible for their children's safety. If my children are leaving the yard at age 9 and 10 to go and play anywhere, I have a responsibility to ensure that they are under my watchful eyes. I don't care how far away from me. Call or proceed. If I can't watch them, they can't go. Because I'm struggling for bring them to 9 and 10. I care that could cry blood. I have the best interest at heart. Call it
Brother Kadaki, listening now, you lean, the way how you see things and them kind. Let me tell you, my brother, I come up with very strict parents. I come up with a grandmother, father, and mother. Me mother was so strict, brother. And let me tell you, all those strictness, my brother, with all you saying that, I understand how you do it with your children and them thing, but don't say that because a thing like that happens to your kid, that is parents to be. Me mother, the thing, if guys just sit down and tell me mother the things we get away and go and do, my brother. You hear what I tell you? And very strict mother, when your mother come in, when mothers come in from market, people run, you children run and go to collect bag and that kind of thing. You got to run in to make sure things do home properly and them kind of things. Because she never used to make jokes. So it's real unfortunate for happen to the kids them. You understand? And I would not just say, yes, we got careless with parents and them kind of thing, but every mishap like that, using my experience as a youth coming up, the chances and the things what happened made me drunk and all kind of thing. And me mother was a strict lady. Yeah, is a strict lady up to now. Up to now. It's sad what happened to the youths them and thing, but I would say, what I would advise is let we black people. And I want any other brothers, sisters, any other ethnic you listening, they say once you get a balanced heart and all kind of thing, and you see what's going on in this country, you will understand why I got to talk. You understand? Black people who listening this thing, this program, I would step on the eye to your black children. You see down to the president and everybody cover up a story with a little black child that died. Cover up that story. Very depot, yes, because these Indian men getting their hands on these big monies and that kind of thing, they're not going on easy. They got a lot of evil in them. A lot of evil in them because if any one of them was so balanced, Daniel, Bali, Ali, and all of them, they would have make sure a proper investigation go on. Adriana Young, those would make sure a proper investigation go on with the 12 children that died. These people ain't got no love. These people ban a little child from singing a song. All the child, all the 6.5, a little black child, the fancy to song. These people have got no love in the heart. If you could go so low to do this to children, kill 20 of them, and you could pay them $5 million and put down a rap on them because them is quite indigenous people and tell them that you can't go no way with this nation. Y'all don't sign to this. These people very, very wicked, and for all the black brothers and sisters them with a part of the PPP, shame on you. Are you shameful? Nothing like this going to happen on the ground. You're not born in. Are you talk why you want any Indian brother sister and who don't like born on them kind of thing? I ain't listen to this sister. If I got to go there. Nothing like this. Not born with a granger. Nothing. If I know why, the man got quality and they know they might be perfect in everything. But they would never see that happen. And none of you want to stand up and want to say that it was an Indian child. If Adrian Young was an Indian child and that happened to a black what do you name? Time like this because I had y'all bring down Bonham so much, so low. You think this man kill out people. I think it's real sad because we're not the black brothers and sisters. We got children, got parents. I don't fool, I don't carry I have children at them resort and them place. Them people did real wickedness. I do not carry your children by them sorted by them play wrong and them kind of thing. If you all lose them, you know, you choose your places. I ease up the plan and all the place. You ease up them place because when they would not sacrifice to your children, they will push 20 and 40 million in the hand and there's nothing to them. This chicken feed money to them. This chicken feed the wicked. You have called a spade a spade. These people very, very wicked. The people, very, very wicked people. These people wicked and they're very nasty and they're not to trust. And it's not to trust. They do it to them own. No Indian people can't even speak, can't talk, can't talk. The more of them in them far from villages and them Indian people can't stand up and talk. And then think why it Mustafa and them could get so rich. Doing them people all kind of thing up there. Them Indian people, all kind of things. The people every day for right. Every day for right. Even the Indians killing them, the less fortunate ones, them I up on I. The Amerindian brothers and sisters, them on I to these children. This government wicked. And you will see plenty more like that. These things will just shut down all the time. Maybe they're on the ice people. They're on the ice people. Thank you. The proper glove.
Good morning, Kadaki. Concerning those two kids, the parents must have known that place is there because according to what you guys are saying, I do not know the place, but the people they are living around within the vicinity of that place, and the parents must have known that that place is there, so as to warn their children. Do you know what is the last warning of your children or child when they leave in the home? It was a guy who, he loved his grandfather loved him, and he was leaving the home. Every night he left the home, the grandfather always warned him, why behave yourself, son? Behave yourself. Do not, no, involve yourself. And one day he was involved in something and he pulled his knife, and as he raised the knife, he remembered the last word of his grandfather, and he put that knife back in his pocket. So the last word, sometimes you give it to a warning. As the child approaches the water side there, she would have remembered what her mother said. Or the son would have said, so, remember what mommy said? Do not go there. You understand? Warn your children. You must have known that place is there. So we must warn our children, talk to them. And I see a lot of after the fact, flu best and these things. Yes, they went there. Where are these people that were talking there yesterday? Where were them before to know that something dangerous is there? So as to consult the authority and let them know what is going on. But no, everybody comes out. It is like a camera in a store, I went into a store and see a guy thieving a lot of stuff from right in front the cashier's face in front of the counter. Thieving a lot of stuff. But the cashier don't know. They have a camera. But what they do, they go at night, then they view the camera. After the fact, then they see who stole these things. It was too late. So that is all I want to say. The parents must have known that place is there so as to warn their children. Bye.
Thank you for that voice note. We have other voice notes. Let me go to the next one.
Good morning. Blessings to you, Mr. Kadaki, and your family, and all who concern and alive. I just want to ask a question. Please allow me. The situation I've heard, I'm not going to quote exactly what the person said, but the person said, when you're dark skinned, you're more behind or something. That's my words, to my understanding that I'm saying. They were defining dark skin and light skin. I am asking a question. Why is it God make people with a curly hair and make people with straight hair looking like pig, donkey, horse, and all the rest of animals, low-class animals? Why they have made them that way? And these people are going to define people as 3/5, 4/5, and many other things. So that's the question I'm asking. Please, have a good day. Blessings to you and your family.
Hi, Coms TV. Good morning. I'm listening to the program, and I think I heard a number of persons calling in blaming the parents for the death of these two kids. I beg to differ. The reason being is that no parent is going to deliberately send the kids out there knowing that these children are going to swim in a pond, and there's no kind of a safety system, or there's nobody, no adult out there to look over them, knowing that there's a major ditch. Kids are going to always want, you cannot always keep a 24 eyes on kids. They are going to be moving around. First of all, the well, or wherever it is, it's been in the community for quite some time. And the kids would have been passing that place up and down. I don't believe the kids went there to swim. like, based on what's being heard is that, they went in to fill up the gun or whatever it is, or dip water, and somebody fell over. The other one tried to go in and save, and it turned out like it was more deeper than, than, they thought or whatever it is. And, they drowned. However, to blame the parent at this critical time, I think, this is the problem with Guyanese. We always looking for somebody to blame. GWI need to take full responsibility for that, because what they should have done, knowing that they are doing a structure there, and there are kids in the community, not only kids, but people got to be traversing there. They should have cordoned up that place. They should have blocked that place off. And if we're going to say that GPL is to be responsible, by extension, I would say the government is responsible for that. So for persons to come on here and blame the parent, it is woefully unacceptable. The families are already going through a lot. And to deal with this too, which parent is going to deliberately send the kids out there knowing that danger is out there? It doesn't happen like that. You can send your kids on 2 minutes, they're going walking here. This is how kids explore. So I totally disagree with blaming the parents.
Karaki, blessings and good morning to you, my brother. Blessings to listeners from the four corners of the globes. Blessings to listeners from the diaspora. Karaki, I believe that whole scene with the two kids, it's a setup. Negligent on the government and on the contractors. That is a setup. That is a deliberate act. It has nothing to do with no parenting. If the government was a caring government, there's a kind of mesh that they just use to block off that area, because then is a danger zone. But if you as a government hire contractor to do stuff like that and leave that exposed, it's a setup. It's a conspiracy it's a deliberate act. Karaki, I'm so upset because then I'm a father and a grandfather. It's sad.
It is now 15 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. I don't know where my camera's gone. I lost access to my camera. Let me see if I can fix that for you quickly. I don't know where my camera's gone, but I'm sure you're hearing me, and that is what is important. It's 15 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. It's time for me to go, but I want to go with these words. It is all well and good to hold governments responsible. It is all well and good to hold agencies of state and private sector responsible. But it is most important to hold ourselves as individuals and parents responsible. And so while no parent will willingly send their child out there to endanger themselves, as parents, we have to be always conscious of the fact that a lot of what is out there is danger and dangerous to our children. And we must have the presence of mind, as we like to say, to consider situations when we're sending our children away from our sight. Again, I do not believe that a child or children at age 9 and 10 should be sent anywhere unsupervised. And that's me. Call me protective. Call me what you want. But I believe that children at ages 9 and 10 are yet in the volatile years. And we as parents, we as individuals, we as residents of communities and so on, have a responsibility to watch over them at every step of the way. And until we are prepared to do that, we are going to continue to lose more of our children in these manners, which I consider sometimes callous, heartrending. We're going to continue to suffer these blows. Good. I know that the pressures of society, our economic situations and so on, do not permit us as parents especially to spend that time with our children when they are out for recreation and so on and so forth. Because we got to be on the hustle and we got to be on the grind to provide for those very children. But we have to recognize that the sacrifices we are making to provide for them, the investments we are making to provide for them, we have to take steps to protect that investment, to ensure that they grow into adults, productive adults, meaningful adults, in the well-meaning adults in the society. And so we can't say the pressures of society make we can't do this and we can't do that and we can't do the other, and government alone is responsible for this and that and the other. No, it's nonsensical. If we can't find the time to be with our children at age 9 and 10, to go certain places of recreation, then let them enjoy their recreation around the home. Them two children could have played Pago in their own yard. They could have wet one another. They could have played with each other in their own yard. It's not one child, it's two children. And if it's one child, the parents could have played Pago with the child in the yard. So to say the parents are not responsible, are we saying that only government and only GUYANESE and only these other entities and so on should bear responsibility? They don't have direct control and charge of our children. Y'all have a good day. Much love. Tough love is love too.